Alright, something mysterious back in with another video. And this video is going to be called something like what it would take for a girl to notice you, or like why girls don't notice you, or like the something like that, right? Here's the thing: is that I realized that the power is always like in their favor if you're a normie, like if you're like not insanely rich or like high status or good looking. The power is usually always like in their favor for the most part. And what I realized as well is that um, for most guys, it always feels like they have to go to the girl. They have to go to like the woman. They have to like talk to them. And you might think, oh yeah, that's obvious. Guys are always supposed to make the first move. They're always supposed to talk and etc. But the thing is, like, women make it just hard in general to approach them. And I'm not gonna get into that too much because it's fairly obvious why that is. And there's other videos that people make that talk about why women just make it so hard for men to approach them in a normal type of way. But what I thought of recently is like on Instagram, if I like follow a girl on Instagram, there's a high chance she's just not gonna follow me back at all. Like I would say like 9 out of 10 chance she's not gonna follow me back at all and like not give a single fuck at all. Like literally not care. Um, not she won't open up to me or you. Um, and there's a very low chance like she's just gonna even take notice of you, care or whatever. But if I follow a guy on Instagram, there's a way higher chance that like a guy just follows me back because like they don't have like an ego like that. They don't care, and they're just thinking, okay, this guy followed me on Instagram. I'm gonna follow him back. And this is something people don't talk about often, but it's like an unspoken like rule or like an unspoken thing that just everyone kind of knows, but like no one mentions. Is like the whole Instagram thing. Like people don't really bring it up in like a normal conversation because it sounds kind of weird to like just bring up or mention, but everyone knows it. And uh, everyone subconsciously knows that at the least. Like they know that like, oh yeah, girls don't like to follow you back on Instagram. They have these massive egos. They like to have way more followers than like the amount of people they're following, and they're just very like up, like have very much have like inflated egos, and they don't want to give you the time of day at all. Like, they don't want to give you the time of day. And then I thought to myself, what would it actually take for like me, like for a girl to follow me on Instagram, and like for me to like not follow her at all, and for me to like not like be the first one to initiate. Like, what would it take for her to think, oh yeah, I want to follow this guy on Instagram? Like, there's something about me that's interesting to her. There's something about me that like entices her to like go look at my like personal Instagram. And for the most part, like it just involves basically being a celebrity. Like, if I was legitimately a celebrity, um, like there would be very likely to follow me on Instagram, especially if they knew me before I'm famous and then I became famous afterwards. It'd be kind of like a shock to them, I think. And they would get like really nosy and think, oh, how come he's like famous now and like all this stuff, and then they just start, going crazy. Uh, these people are very predictable. That's the thing. They're very predictable. And you might think, oh, if they're so predictable, why don't you like figure them out? Well, it takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot to like win people over in general in life. But yeah, I realize like for me to like be someone that like uh gains attention or gains like traction from other women without me like having to try and go and do it. Basically from just doing nothing, or like just for me just chilling at home doing nothing. I basically have to be like a celebrity or just be insanely good looking. Those are two things I'm like, I don't think there's much I can do to make myself like way better looking than how I already am, because I've shaved my beard. My hair isn't like insanely long. I've been going to the gym. I've not maxed out my physique fully yet, but like I have been going to the gym and stuff. But I don't think there's like much else I could do to like make myself look better. The only other thing I can think of isn't like not to do with looks, but like in terms of status is if I had a girlfriend with me, or if I had girls around me. I think if you have like a girlfriend, that's like the most valuable social proof to a girl is like if she sees you with another girl, because yeah, it makes her like think, oh well, maybe there's something about him that's good. Like it's funny because like it sounds counter like intuitive. Like why would you need a girl to attract another girl? But like if they see that, like they start to think of you like differently, at least on a subconscious level. And, like these things matter to them. Like these things like social proof, status, all that matters. And these are like unspoken rules. Like they kind of are unspoken rules. Like you might know about them. They might have been like mentioned on other YouTube channels, but like people don't talk about like every day. Like you know, like that. But that's the thing is like, if you're shown to like have girls like open up to you, be nice to you, like hang around you, or you've had a girlfriend or girlfriends in the past, like it makes them view you like in a different way, in a different light, if you know what I mean. But with the whole like status thing, it's like yeah, like obviously being really famous is would help, but like there's obviously easier said than done. And it's kind of why I made that video is like fame the answer to loneliness. It's kind of why I made that video because this talks about that a bit. Um, this goes into that. And yeah, like the whole like Instagram thing, like people don't mention it. Like I don't think I've ever heard a girl like even actually talk about it or like say. I've never heard a girl say, "Oh, you don't have enough followers on Instagram." Like that's unattractive, or say like, "Oh, you don't have like 1,000 followers on Instagram." Like I don't find that attractive. Like, they never are gonna say that directly, but subconsciously or in their mind, they're gonna like think that when they're like stalking your profiles, so to speak, which is funny. But that's what I'm thinking of recently is like, what would make people like, and like, what would entice people to me? What would entice women to me without me even like necessarily having to try anything? So yeah, I mean, yeah, like basically social proof, like the ultimate social proof would be other women, and then on top of that, like it would just be like being insanely famous, but trying to become like insanely good looking. That's just something people usually already have, like they naturally already have. I feel like even like good looking people, like genuinely good looking people, I feel like they look good even on like on a bad day. They look good even when they've just rolled out of bed, when they've just like had a bad day, when like they're not trying to look that way, like they still look good regardless for the most part. But that's just what I've been thinking of recently, and I just find it funny. Like each country in the world has something different. Like if you looked at the videos has been in recently, if you look at the videos Clavicular's been in recently, whereas in Paris, like people are not treating him the same way as they do in Miami. Like they're not like just falling for him. They're not just like submitting to him and just doing what he wants. And you don't have. It's not like women are just like giving themselves up to him like in Miami. Like they have a whole different like state of mind, or they have a whole different way of thinking. They have a whole different like, how do I call it, like, yeah, they just have a whole different way of thinking, and they're not just gonna like give themselves up in that sense. Like everywhere in the world is different. That's what I've been trying to say. Like when you travel, like you realize everywhere is really different. Some places can have different like social standards and like social expectations and just social cues and just stuff like that. And some things are acceptable in one country, some things are unacceptable in another. But the whole status thing, like, that's just really what I've thought of is like, if I was high status or just like pretty well known, I wouldn't have to like go out and like try to approach a woman necessarily, or like I said, the social, like I've already just said pretty much what I had to say, like social proof and like just being pretty popular for the most part, and being like notorious for something is what will entice people towards you in general, make you attractive. And I don't just mean attractive in a like looks way or like relationship romantic way. I mean like attractive as a human being. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of why I get like like FitX Fearless, the YouTuber, like I think he changed his name now, but like he makes these videos talking about like sometimes talking about Instagram and like professional photography and this and that, like clothes, and he just goes into everything. Goes into all aspects like fitness, like clothes, and like Instagram. Like he mentions that quite a bit because people don't like to talk about it because it sounds so superficial. And it sounds kind of like just weird to just think, oh yeah, you want to look good on social media, but like they do judge you, like they do 100% like judge you off that instantaneously, and that's the thing is, and I realize like almost no one's gonna care about me unless I'm famous. Like literally, no one's gonna care about me unless I'm famous. And I think there's a quote out there that like says like, yeah, like, no one cares about you unless you're rich, famous, or like dead. I think there's another quote out there that goes like, "Oh, no one cares about you unless you're rich, famous, or good looking," which is also pretty true. But rich, famous, or dead is pretty true as well. Because like when people die, like all of a sudden, loads of people try to pretend as if they cared and then gave a fuck about that person who just died, when they obviously didn't. They're just hopping on the bandwagon and trying to look like a normal, caring, sincere person when they're not. And then yeah, obviously people caring about you when you're rich. Pretty self-explanatory, just vulture type of people. And then yeah, like being famous. I feel like when it comes that I feel like that's so I can't even talk today. I feel like that's when like the charisma aspect comes into play. Like people find you charismatic and like likable, and people would just like start to like you if you are famous. Like people will just start to like you, and they'll pretend as if like they know you. They'll pretend as if like you're their friend, or like they'll talk as if like there's some women out there who like talk about celebrities as if it's like their fucking like brother or like boyfriend, or like as if it's their like close friend, and like just completely obsessed with certain celebrities as if it's like someone in their own personal life that they know, when it's not. And it's just crazy. Like it's just crazy. Like we've seen all these videos, we've seen all these like crazy like celebrities like or looks maxers like PSL gods, like Chico when he's getting all this attention, like Michael Jackson, like Justin Bieber in his prime, like just the amount of like fans and like attention they get, just fucking insane. Like it's just absolutely insane. It's completely unmatched. It's completely unmatched. Like those types of people are not even playing the same game like remotely. They're not even playing the same game like at all. Like everything is in their favor. The tables have completely turned in their favor. Like they're playing a whole different game. Now it's like people are kind of bending to their will and like to what they want. They are the ones with the power at that point. It's not like, oh, they have to go and win people over, like I said in a previous video. It's like they are literally the prize. Like a lot of red pill YouTubers will say, oh, as a guy you need to be the prize. But like that doesn't really work, because if a fucking homeless person just sat on the street and said, "Oh, I'm the prize, like women should come to me," like no one's gonna care. Or like another thing they'll say is like, "Oh, you need to act like you don't care, or you're not needy, or like you're not desperate." Well, if a fucking homeless person doesn't act desperate or doesn't act like needy, do you think people are gonna care? Like no one's gonna care at all. Like if they don't have substance, they don't have like something to them that like attracts people. You know what I mean? Like people aren't just gonna care about you for no reason. People aren't just gonna care about you because you act nonchalant or that you ignore them. Like otherwise, literally everyone would be getting like approached or getting like, signals and like, choosing signals and having people come up to them. And that was true. That was the main thing. Like that was one of the first red pill tips like I heard that I thought like, oh, this is like kind of the embodiment of the red pill in some ways, or like the embodiment of like game and like attraction is like, oh, like showing yourself to a woman, but then like not acting needy. And like, yeah, we get it that like being needy is unattractive, but the thing is like, just saying nothing and acting like this nonchalant person doesn't change anything either, in my opinion.